I've sort of found that there are two types of watch boxes available. They're super affordable, functional yet not particularly perfect watch boxes that I've tended to use over my watch collecting journey because they've been cheap and functional. But then there's also these luxury feeling plush amazing things that present your watches really well, keep them really safe and make a very satisfying sort of opening closing experience, but they tend to be really expensive. And I can't quite justify spending that amount of money on a box, not when I can buy a watch for that same amount of money. What I've struggled to find, however, is something a little bit in between, something that has a feel that is something a bit special, that keeps the watches nice and safe, but is not overly expensive. In fact, I really struggled so much to do this and find one myself that I ended up building my own watch box a couple of years ago. And I may not have had to build a watch box myself if I had known about these watch boxes from Mozsly that are really a luxury feeling, yet very realistically priced, especially right now during the Black Friday sales. Hello, you're watching James. My name is James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches. And right now, for 200 Australian dollars, you can get one of these 6-slot watch boxes from Mozsly. Mozsly is a brand that I've experienced a watch winder from before, and that was very good. But this watch box, well, this is a little bit next level because it really does look and feel like something that is significantly more expensive. I have had some experience with more expensive watch boxes and I've thought, wow, these are really lovely. But when they are in that sort of $800, $1,000 or even more sort of price category, I can't justify it, because for that I could buy a nice watch, and I'd rather have a nice watch in my collection than a nice watch box. However, it does seem to get to a point in your watch collecting experience that you just want to put all your nice watches into something good, but this might be the choice that I think you should make. And I didn't actually have to buy one myself because Mozsly reached out to me and provided one of these for me to feature with you guys, share it with you guys. Hence you would have seen that sponsored icon up there. And I'm just going to leave a link directly to their website. But I want to say something. I want to say that although I'm going to be saying a lot of positive things today, it's not because this watch box was provided to me for free. Honestly, it's a $200 watch box. It's not something that I'm going to be selling, so I'm not going to be recouping that money whatsoever. They haven't given me anything else. I never asked for money in any review. It's just nice to get the product so then I can own it and use it. And realistically, if I gave this a bad review, I wouldn't be that worried about Mozsly sending me something again in the future. It doesn't really bother me. I don't need another watch box in my collection, but I'm going to say some real positive things about this one today because, well, I've had some really good positive experiences with it, and I've not experienced anything else at 200 Australian dollars that achieves what this watch box has. Now, if you go onto the Mozsly website, you'll see they have a couple of different variations of different bits and pieces for watches, including winders and rolls and watch boxes. But it's this one that really stood out to me, and there's two different color variations. There's a more sort of orange sort of style and a brown style. As I've mentioned a couple of times, they're currently $200 in the sale, but normally they're only $250 anyway. For that, you obviously get the watch box, but you also get it sent to you for free. There's also a built-in money-back guarantee, a 3-year warranty, and well, those things are quite good as well. And I've had some good experiences just communicating with this brand as well, so that's another positive. But obviously, this is something that you just need to see. So I'm going to now show you this one in a little bit more detail and try to point out why I think this one has been such a positive experience for me, something that I'm actually going to use. And it might end up being the watch box that I put next to me when I go to bed, where I can put my couple of watches that I want a little bit closer. So let's flip over to the white box and have a look at this one in a little bit more detail. So it's always fun to try and fit a large box into my white box here, but as you can see, it comes in this nice large outer box. Also this inner sleeve here. Gives you a few sort of layers of protection, but also just makes it look a little bit pretty. And then when you pull it out, the first thing I noticed about it is it has this very soft, almost sort of like a textured surface, a little bit like raw leather. And that continues over the entire surface of it. Sides, the base, it's almost like that sort of felty sort of leather feel.
What it also does is it makes it really grippy. Really feels solid and flat and holding onto the surface there. It's also all stitched around the edges and comes with this rather cool pattern on the top, and of course the Mozsly logo there. It's also got a bit of weight to it, which makes it really nice when you open it, that it sort of holds solid to the surface that it's on as you open it. Inside, it's continuing along here with that surface. There's an inner lip, which then contains all the cushions. Very nice sort of countersunk sort of hinges there that sort of go inside the case. Has this timber look chessboard here. Not sure if that's actually what it is, but that's sort of what it looks like. And then of course it's got your 6 cushions, which are soft, but also got a bit of firmness to them. I've had a few different watch boxes. Some are really, really super soft little cushions. These are just nice and firm and they fit in there nicely. And when you actually put your watches in, you can have them sitting up, sitting at an angle, or sitting flat. And I thought I might put some of my biggest watches that I have in my collection in to show you so that you know how they sit. But as you can see, it sort of sits at an angle, so it sort of faces you. Or of course, you can also seat them down into the box next to one of my other bigger watches, just so you can see how far apart they are once they're inside the case. And as you can see, I can fit my entire finger in between the two. So I'm pretty confident that they're going to be safe when you close the lid and put them together. And see how quiet that is? Oh, yeah, it's just got that real tactile feel, then a real smooth tactile see, you can sort of almost hold, yeah, okay. This is something a little bit special and I really like it, and I am thankful to Mozsly. This one is, I think, going to actually go next to my bed, so at night I can put some of my favourite watches close by, and I know that's probably a little bit weird, but that's the kind of person I am. I love watches a little bit too much. And if you continue to fill it up, you can still see there's plenty of gaps between the watches. And if you put even smaller dials versus the larger watches, they really fit well. Now, you may know I have a 17 centimetre wrist, and that's actually perfect for that cushion, but it does squish down a little bit, so it feels like there's going to be options to put smaller and also some bigger sort of bracelet sort of styles on there. Now, the cushion holds my 17 centimetre set watches really nicely, but there's definitely room and squish to put some tighter watches, but also it is on firm enough that you could put looser watches too. So I think you can fit a whole range of watch sizes in here. And that's actually a nice collection of watches all in a watch box. Thank you, Mozsly. This is rather nice. And thank you so much for watching. Not really much else to say about a watch box, is there? Got a nice bit of weight to it. Really do appreciate that. And I honestly can't believe it's at that price. If you gave this one to me and I'd put my sort of thoughts about it and not told me the price, I think I may have said, say, $700 or $800. And then I would have said, it's nice and I appreciate it, but it's a little bit too expensive for me. But at $200, and that's 200 Australian dollars, which is like $3 American. No, a little bit more than that. But yeah, super affordable. Probably the best one I have ever experienced for the price. Thank you, and thanks for watching. Here's a couple other videos you might want to watch next.